I'm on the allotment. It's midweek, mid-January, South Wales in the UK. I am very happy to be here pretty much alone. I think there's nobody around, which means the whole site is for me and I can enjoy peace and silence. I've set everything up for recording another video finally, and then I realized that the microphone is empty. I haven't charged it. Then I've attempted to record the video by putting my phone in the tripod, moving away myself 2 meters away. I recorded a few minutes. I was talking, I was expressive and happy. Then the volume is just not enough, so I've just decided to take the phone in my hands, record a quick video and just do it. Obviously seeking perfection in my life just can't happen, and I have to learn and embrace rather a wabi-sabi style of life than seeking what is good enough in my own opinion. Anyway, so today is a very important day for me because a friend of mine, professional gardener, has delivered a few bags of biomaterials, and this is the subject I want to talk about today. I've posted on Facebook about the garden a few days ago, and there was a lot of interest, a lot of questions, a lot of interactions, so thank you all for every single like or a comment. And the most common question is, what do you use for mulching? Is it just hay? Is it straw? Is it wood chip? What do you use? As my hand is getting numb, I need to be quick. Any biomaterials you can get, anything as long as the soil is covered. Now, if you've watched my previous videos, you've probably noticed that I said that the layer needs to be thick, probably too many times. But this is really the basic rule of the method. If the mulch is not thick enough, you won't see full benefits of the method, and all your labor and dedication will be wasted. Let's quickly take a look around the plot. Most of the last year's mulch has been decomposed. Biomaterials have become food for the plants next season, and that's exactly what I wanted. So if we walk around, I will talk through what's happening and how it looks like. The garden looks, shall I not say dead, let's say dormant. It's middle of the winter, it's cold, but this is exactly as it should be now, so I have no any worries about anything. Right, so if I just try to record video holding the phone, and I think that should be okay. I'm just laughing to myself, honestly, but anyway. Right, so bed number 1. This has been mulched with more biomaterials sourced from another friend of mine, and as you can see, the mulch is really diverse. A lot of cut grasses, ferns, stems, and any kind of biomaterials. I tend to chop these materials into smaller pieces so they're easy to handle, and that's the only reason why. This is chard, last year's chard. This is very specific sort. I don't know the name of it, but if you take a look, it looks green. This could be also maybe a spinach. I'm not sure what I've planted a few years ago, but it's always seeding, and basically this bed is self-seeded, which means I don't need to put pretty much any effort in it. Probably these few bushes will have to be cut and mulched. When I'm cutting plants, I always cut it at the level of the ground, which means that I leave the root inside, and root would rather create pockets for oxygen and air flowing through the soil. Okay, so again, I started mulching from the beginning of the bed, and there is a lot of different materials. These are the weeds that I've pulled from the soil, and normally what I do, I will shake the soil off and just turn them upside down so the root dries out. Then we have a lot of leaves. These are last year's flowers and I think mint plant, and on top of this I will just apply another layer of mulch, another thick layer of mulch. if I move further down, you might challenge me by saying, oh, but mulching should be no dig method, and yes, it should, and it is, but if you have to dig, just dig it. This bed has a lot of convolvulus bindweed roots, and in my own opinion, the only way to get rid of it is either to dig the roots out or use chemicals, which I don't want to. This is some rubbish that wind has scattered around, just like there, but it's okay. And this is Jesus, I can't remember the name of the plant now, verbena, which I will move somewhere on the side. There are few weeds growing, but using this method you don't even have to pull them out. All you have to do is just add, again, thick layer of mulch on top of them and they'll be fine. Obviously this area I will have to dig because of the roots, but that's okay, it's only a few square meters. Okay, this is the bed with Jerusalem artichokes, and I love eating them as when they're cooked as a cream soup with some carrots. This bed has been mulched last year, and then if we move the mulch, you can see how rich the soil is. This is semi-composed mulch or hay from the last year, and obviously this area needs topping up, which is really easy. This bed also needs some clearing. All these dead plants need to be cut off and put down as a mulch. This is really easy method. It's labor free almost. It gives you a lot of time to enjoy the garden in the summer. You don't need to stress out, you don't need to weed. There are multiple benefits, and it works well. You might ask why this bed is not covered with mulch, and there is simple reason: because I've planted young plants last year and I haven't applied mulch since. So here I had some beetroot and also leeks there. Obviously if you have a thick layer of mulch like here, this is almost 20 centimeters deep, then you can't plant in air, okay? So obviously the roots need to be in the soil. So for that reason you will just move the mulch and plant seedlings or seeds. It's completely your choice whether you want to put the mulch back after the plants are established. I haven't, because the leaves created a shade and I didn't have a lot of weeds on this area. Now after I harvest these winter beetroots and a few of those leeks, I will not bother with these weeds. I will just mulch the bed. Just apply, again, thick layer of mulch, and this is it for the rest of the season. Talking about hay, it decomposes quickly, especially during the winter when it's wet, and it also contains a lot of nitrogen, which supports the decomposing process. So I really hope that chunkier mulch like these branches and stems will last longer. There's some plastic which I will remove. If by any chance this is not enough, then I can always apply more mulch. I think I found sustainable and continuous supply of mulch from those two friends of mine, which by the way struggle to get rid of their green waste, because in the UK the companies have to pay for disposal. So by finding these people, I am doing them a favor and I'm supplying mulch for free, which just works both ways. Okay, if we walk further down, this is the path which needs to be cleared. This is sage plant. I have two. They look sad now, obviously it's the middle of the winter, but take a look at the size of it. This is one plant. The soil is very rich here and they just love it. This bed is full of strawberries, which I will not touch at all. They will create shady environment and prevent a lot of weeds from growing. I will obviously pull out these few bushes and this is it. I might apply some compost on top just to feed them, but I'm not really worried about doing that because during the summer I will apply comfrey feed, liquid comfrey feed, which I will show you now. I keep it behind the allotment so you can't see it. This is the edge of my plot, the famous shed, and this is comfrey. It stinks like hell. This is one of the worst smells you can imagine, but it's really good source of potassium and nitrogen for the plants. I use it in ratio 1:10 with the water. I do apologize for this rubbish, I will clean it. It's just windy winter. Next to the house, the shed, I have rudbeckias. I absolutely love them and they create big bushes, and this will all be full of yellow flowers next season. They're still alive, they're doing well. You can see some of slug damage, but I am not worried at all because the plants are established and very strong, and I don't mind if there are a few slugs. Slugs are huge topic to talk about, and when I was starting this method, people were advising me not to because they said you will encourage the slugs, you will lose everything, the crops. But without being disrespectful to anyone, I've asked them, have you tried mulching? And they said no. So I thought, how can I follow an advice which is not based on empiric knowledge? This is very important for me. I'm a doer. This is the way I learn in life. And I think this will be my 5th season mulching in the UK. I just did it. I've decided I'll try mulching and see what happens. The first season I've applied 20 bales of hay, which was not enough for this plot at all. But yes, five years down the line, I have no issues with slugs at all. Yes, I have slugs like every other garden around, but I have no issues. In the early spring, I might put some extra effort to slug management, such as collecting slugs whenever I see them, or putting beer traps, or using iron phosphate. That's the only, shall I call it, chemical that I'm using on the allotment or in my gardening life. And iron phosphate is an element found in soil naturally, but it's more concentrated in those pellets. And the good thing about it is the fact that it doesn't affect the wildlife. So if the slug eats a pellet, which they do, if a bird or hedgehog eat a slug, they won't be affected, and that's exactly what I want. Now, when I'm talking about slugs, one of the downsides of the method is I can't use nematodes, which are biological, very good tool for fighting the slugs. Obviously, mulch is an airy mass applied on top of the soil, and nematodes can't survive in mulch. They need to get to the soil. That's probably the biggest concern about the methods from my own experience. And I've been mulching, this will be I think 9th season. I've done 4 years in Croatia in a completely different climate than this one, and now almost 5 years of mulching in the UK. And I don't know, I think 9 years is enough experience to make certain statements and claim certain facts, at least based on my experience. So this is it for today. I don't want to record too long video, 15 minutes is long anyway, and I hope this is useful. I don't have a tripod. I do have a tripod, but I don't have a microphone actually to show you how I flip the bags of mulch on the garden, but it's easy. All you have to do is just flip them over. No, I don't tilt my soil. No, I don't bring any manure. I don't dig the manure in. That's all unnecessary. All you have to do is to cover your soil and let the nature works. Nature is, in my opinion, not a resource. It is a force, an ability to create and regenerate. It's a god, you know, it's something way beyond our possibility to grasp, and it knows the best. Come on, I mean, nature's been mulching 4 billion years. She knows what she's doing, and I just trust to that perfection. Needless to say that I'm obsessed with nature and I love everything about it. Anyway, before I finish the video, let's do another quick look on the plot and do it. Please do it for yourself instead of pulling your hair, stressing out about weeding. You can just sit in the garden, have a glass of wine or a cup of tea or whatever, and enjoy and just observe nature unfolding before your eyes, and wildlife boosting, and it's amazing. I can't wait for the next season. I'm getting too excited, but that's me. If you expose me to something that I enjoy, then I will just explode with my hormones of happiness, or however you want to call it, reaction or action. Anyway, yes, quick look, and this is it. Leeks are getting ready. Now let's talk quickly about, see, I can't stop. Let's talk about this plant. This is Pulmonaria officinalis. The leaves are edible, even though they are slightly hairy. You can boil them in a soup. But the main reason why I'm keeping this plant on the plot is it blooms early in the spring, maybe March time, and it feeds the first bees coming out of hives. They're tired, hungry, they need pollen, they need nectar, and this is it. This is the plant. This garden is permacultural garden. I take into account other life forms, not just me and my needs, and this is why I keep Pulmonarias in the garden. There is a row of them there and a few plants. They're pretty much everywhere. I've talked about this area. This will be just simply mulched, and this bed I started digging the roots of bindweed. Let me quickly show you. It's really bad because last year I haven't been on the plot as much as I was supposed to, but look, these are all roots, and in my opinion, as I said, the only way to get rid of the roots is to dig them out. Once I dig them out, I will put them in a bin because this has huge potential for growing. Carpet is very non-me, non-Boris, but there is a layer of carpet going down the lane just to keep the weeds off. But talking about nature and regeneration, this is how it looks like. All I have to do is just pull the carpet, flip it over, and add more mulch to it. There we go. I've tried to be brief, 20 minutes of video, but I hope it was useful, and I'll be back. I hope I'll be more consistent this season. It's just life is short and there's not enough time, and I want to do so many different things at the same time, and then I burn out, and that's how it is. But yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it because mulch is working for us. We don't need to be on the allotment as much, so it works. Yeah, stay happy, healthy, be neuroplastic, be positive, create positive thoughts, and they will come back. I will see you soon. All the best.